Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you guys don't know me, my name is Julia Nicole. Thanks so much for clicking on my video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today it is absolutely gorgeous outside, so I decided to film a spring glowy look for you all. It was actually a request, so I hope you all enjoy it. Thanks. Okay, for today's look, I have already moisturized my face and now I'm just going to be applying my primer. This is the Faced Hangover RX primer. For foundation today, I'm going to be using a drugstore brand. This is Milani in the shade 01, and I'm going to be using my Morphe brush from my Complexion Glow set. It's just a flat foundation brush. Like always, I'm just going to be applying to my mixing plate, and today I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I'm just going to be spraying my brush a little bit before applying my foundation. So like every day, I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Today I'm going to be using the shade Light. I'm going to be applying this to my under eyes. I will be using my damp beauty sponge from Real Techniques just to buff that out. After blending it out, I am then going to be applying a little more in between my eyebrows and a little on my chin. I'm going to be using the same beauty blender and just blending that out. And after blending that out, I am then going to be taking whatever is left over and applying that on my eyelid. For quick spring looks like this, I don't really need to set my eyes very much because I'm only going to be using a little eyeshadow. Next, I am going to be taking my Covergirl Professional Powder, and I am going to be using my Beauty Counter powder brush, and I'm just going to be applying this all over my face. There's no real technique here, I just want to cover my whole face in powder. And now I'm going to be taking my larger powder brush from my Morphe Complexion Goal set, and I am going to be using my L'Oreal Geller bronzer in the shade Siesta Medium. And I am just going to be contouring with this just to brighten up my face a little bit more. I am then going to be taking my M527, and I am just going to be using my mini Tarte blush in the shade Party. And I am just going to be brushing a little bit onto my brush and applying it on my cheekbones. And I'm going to be putting a little bit around my face, and I am also going to apply to my temples. I find this kind of helps blend out my bronzer and brightens my face some more. So now I'm going to be reaching for my highlighter, and I accidentally bumped my camera. And I'm going to be using my ABH Glow Kit in the shade Sundipped. Here I am now looking for my brushes. So unprepared, Julia. So now that I have found my brush, I am going to be using my Morphe 530. And this is what it looks like. And I'm going to be picking up the shade Summer. And I'm going to be applying this on my cheekbones. Also applying a little bit on my brow bone, on my nose, and on my Cupid's bow. I am then going to be taking the shade Moonstone and applying it where my blush would be. Because this is a pinkier shade, it will help blend into my blush. And I'm also using the shade Bronzed, and I'm applying this where my bronze would be to help blend into my bronzer. I am then going to be going back to the shade Summer, and I'm going to be taking my Morphe 510, and I'm going to be dipping into it just a little bit and tapping it off, and using my MAC Fix Plus to kind of wet my brush. This creates a blinding highlight. I use this very sparsely, just kind of in those areas I want to pop. Now moving on to eyeshadow, I am going to be using my 24G palette from Morphe. So I am going to be using my Eye Slay collection, but this brush is very similar to my M441. My M441 just has yellow on it, so I cannot use it for today's video. I'm just going to be dipping into the shade Creamer with my Eye Slay brush, and I'm just going to be applying this on my crease and on my outer eyelid. And I am going to be using my M167. It is very dirty, but we're just going to use it anyway. And I'm going to be dipping into the shade Glazed. And because it's a shimmery shade, we are just going to be spraying it with our MAC Fix Plus and applying this in my tear duct and bringing it over my eye. This does not have to be precise at all. I personally just like to spread it out, and wherever it looks good, leave it like that. And of course, I am doing the same thing in the same steps to the other eye. I am then going back to that eye slay brush, and I'm just going to blend the two together slightly. And I am going to be taking my M432. This is what it looks like, and I am just going to be dipping into the shade Brownie, and I'm just lightly tapping my brush into it. I don't need a lot of product, and I'm going to be applying this to my top lash line just to create a soft liner. I'm then going to be dipping into the shade Mojo using the same M432, and I'm just going to be lining my bottom lash line with this color. And once again, I'm going back to that eye slay brush and just kind of buffing that out so it creates a softer look. Here I am deciding what I should do next. And we have decided to put some eyebrows on, so I'm going to be using my ABH Brow Wiz in the shade Medium Brow. And like always, I'm just going to be filling in what needs to, extending my brow a little bit. So for today's look, we are actually skipping eyelashes, so I'm going to be going right in with my Stilla Huge Lash, and I'm only going to be applying this to my upper lashes. And I wanted to keep this really simple, so for lips today, I am going to be using my Melted Latex from Too Faced. This is in the shade Girl on Top. It is just a simple clear gloss.
Tell me you love